Hi everyone, Tony Restel here and delighted to bring you an interview today with CEO Worldwide and Female Executive Search. We're going to be interviewing Ghislaine Couvreur, and we're going to be talking about a whole load of issues to do with gender hiring, remote working. So thanks ever so much for joining us. So obviously you've been looking for a position just recently. In your experience, how far have we progressed in terms of achieving gender balance within C-suite positions? How was your job search, and how do you find that whole thing?
Well, I will say that we are surely not yet there. In my view, it's just a question of time. We are looking here, I think, at two main changes, in my opinion. One is linked to what do we want as a woman. I think it's always a question, career, families, both of them, and how our society can adapt to the latter. I think it's super important that when we want to combine career and family, we have the support of our environment, but as well as the society needs to adapt to that. And I think here it's something that will be changing over the time. But when I wanted to look as well to the other, it's much more around a mindset transformation of the current leadership class. I think today it's mainly held by men. Means it's something that will change, but probably will take a little bit longer. Concerning in coming back to the first point, it's really a personal choice. So you need, first of all, if we want to do career, then you will follow the path that men or women are anyways having to go through. If you want to do to have a family, then it's your choice, and you will make it happen. It's like a career as well in its way. And if you want to combine both of them, it's there where the environment is very important. Means you need to find your right environment for that partner, family, whatever. It's really something where the society is progressing. Sometimes supporting well, depending on the countries as well, and sometimes it's taking a little bit more longer. And today we see an acceptance increasing around men taking care of the children at home, not working but taking care of the household. It means it's really something that's happening, but it's coming with the time, and it will be arriving. Concerning the second point, I think again, it's really my particular opinion, it's more changes that will happen naturally with the new generations coming up, Z, Y, whatever you want to name it. They are basically totally different to what we face since years and years, I would say. So they are much more into work-life balance, ensuring that they have an interesting job, with a noble impact, most of the time is in the environment and the society, where the power of money is no more the priority number one. And I think this shift will happen anywhere, without having to bring anything about forced changes. So it's something I'm a little bit against that, or bringing a quote. Or we need 50-50 between men and female. I think it's really there where we need time to adapt, and we need to have something that's natural, that can last for a very period of long time. Means transition already started. We are moving on.
Absolutely. And obviously this year has been, incredible in many ways, but we've seen remote working and remote hiring have obviously become really, really important. What kind of impact do you think that's going to have on, opening up greater opportunities for gender balance and indeed wider diversity hiring goals?
Frankly speaking, I'm not sure there is a big link between remote work, remote hiring, and the gender balance. I would say flexibility in work schedule will help there way more. And company and management still need to make a lot of progress in that topic. It's something that's not so well known, or being having to work towards goal is sometimes way more important than looking at the number of hours the person is making. Means here bringing that flexibility will help us at that time to bring maybe more women into some jobs they are not yet today. But yeah, I'm not sure we can find a direct link with gender balance. It's really where I'm not sure something is bringing that. For me, it's much more on the flexibility that you are bringing at work. And I think as a concerning as one point as that I found out as a several times, we should stop as associate as a remote work as a with lazy work. I think as a most of the time as we think about as a remote work, like, oh, it's cool. I can put my head as in the fridge as on the weekly, as on a minute basis, or I can quickly as a vacuum between as a 2 minutes. I think as it's really as the opposite. I mean, I'm facing it as well as since the past 2 months now. And I think as I'm bringing as a more hours, effective hours as a since I was working as a remotely than I was doing before. We are still trying as a to have this chit chat, this coffee break as a online, but clearly as a, I'm focusing as a way more as a on work as a probably than when you're with a lot of people as a in the end. But yeah, concerning as a, the wider as a diversity, I think here as a, it will be helping as a lot and helping in a way that you can access talents outside as a, of your normal perimeter. And here is, you know, multicultural teams are very creative and innovative, and I think as a, we should really push much more as a, this mindset as of not saying like, oh yeah, the person needs to leave as in the next 50 kilometers as from the work locations. But sometimes as a thinking like, you know what, someone is sitting as in Seattle is probably as the right person as for my company, and I will be adopting as based on that. Means on that side, as I think it will be helping a lot, but still as a mindset as that needs to be changed. Yeah.
Yeah, no, completely agree. And you've been hired in as an interim and then potentially moving into a permanent position, as I understand. How was that hiring process for you, and what do you see as some of the upsides of companies choosing to hire that way?
Okay, I think the hiring process is exactly the same. There is not so much changes. Maybe it's shortened. I'm not sure. I'm not sure it's the generality. I would say that the hiring process is the same. However, the practice is good, but in my view, it's only fit to specific as a situation where the company is facing. For example, when investors giving us a last chance to a company, or maybe the company needs to define as a brand new strategy, which requires a lot of transformations. And I think here, interim CEO brings, first of all, quickly as a new skills, and feels a little bit freer as well as to make as the requested as changes, but as well as to force a little bit the organization as to go through these changes in a very fast way. And from that side, I think the interim CEO is the right solution when companies faces large challenge and need to be solved in a very quick time, very fast. For that side, it's really specific. It needs to fit to situation in a company that's important. And after the transition to permanent, it's really depending on the result. First of all, it's the fit to the new strategy, the acceptance of the organization. So it's basically the transition is much more where you're able within a short matter of time to make the difference in the company. And are you the right person to move on with? There is sometimes skills they are good for a certain period of time, and at once you need to change. Means it's really all something you can't categorize so easily. You really need to look at the situation and see who is the best person in the end to drive the company and guide the company in the next phase. And I think it's more this flexibility and the fact that we are different CEOs and we are good in certain stages of companies, and we need to realize and see that maybe I'm not the good one to drive a company that maybe has like 10,000 employees. Maybe I'm good in the phase of growing from 50 to 1,000, and then my skills are no more like the right one to move into the next stage. Means it's good to be self-aware about what we do and who we are.
Fantastic. Been a really interesting conversation. Thank you ever so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Tony, for that. It was really great.
Excellent. For anyone watching who's looking to make hires, whether that's looking to hire interims to perms, whether that's remote hiring, whether that's looking to improve your diversity hiring, please do follow the links in the video, and the team will be delighted to help. Thanks ever so much for your time. Have a great rest of the week, everyone. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.